Hello, everyone, and welcome to Twillow Talk. I'm Tanis Coughlin from the Twillow Lifestyle Community, Twillow Lifestyle Academy, and I'm joined today by my beautiful co-host, Jennifer, who is where she is that way.
No, the other way.
In here somewhere.
She's there somewhere. She's there somewhere. And we are also super honored to have Jeff Pulver with us today. Welcome, Jeff. Always awesome to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
What's wrong, Jen?
I'm hearing it coming from somewhere. Is it just me hearing that?
Yes.
Yes.
You may have it open on your screen somewhere else.
Sorry, guys.
No worries.
Okay,
You're
good.
hearing voices. Okay, it's okay. It's normal.
She's hearing voices.
Ooh.
And we have Hypnocity. Hello, Hypnocity.
Hello there.
Welcome, best chatters. So, so we've got lots going on. It is a busy week. It has been a busy week. Today we had a big solar flare, which I guess I could show you that, right?
Yes.
That's usually what I do.
Yeah.
Let's pull her up.
See what's going on.
There we go. Here we are here. So we had this one right here. And it is an M9.05.
An earthquake from space.
An earthquake from space. Yes, exactly. So that'll be an interesting time coming. And our Schumann isn't too bad. We have a nice ad here. I wonder if we get, paid for having that ad on. Okay, so we've got fairly decent Schumann in terms of stable. At this point, we're only at about a 15. And I guess over the next couple of days is where we're going to want to watch some of those numbers because the KP index may change. It's been fairly stable as well. But did you want to speak to that, Jeff?
Just when the index goes up, if you have clear skies, look outside at night because you may see the sky talking to you in different shades of pink and green, and you just never know. You might be honored with some other special colors. This time of year particularly, because you not only have the skies talking, but the clouds also have some really special ability. So if you're in a place that has no bad weather, and it doesn't matter if it's cold outside, look outside anyway. The stars in the sky can talk to you at any time during the night, really. And if you're energy sensitive, beware or be aware, because
ground your energy, folks.
Ground your energy, because particularly in the holiday season, if you're hosting some people and you're sensitive to their energy and the energy coming in from outer space, it could be a doozy.
Absolutely. And Jeff, do you want to tell people why you're interested in that? Because you have this amazing photography that you do.
Well, I'm interested in. Yes. Well, I'll go back a little bit.
Okay, maybe not.
Photography because he's interested in it.
I have a strong passion to the night sky. I have a strong passion of capturing moments where one could look up at the night sky and see, and understand the universe we're in, or start to feel that, we can get to see the light that's both, 9 billion years old and light that's, 3 seconds old, and that you're in a place where you can just ground and reset and listen. Sometimes the stars will talk to you if you can allow yourself to hear them. And so if you grow up in a place where you only have city lights and you don't have a night sky, go to a place where you can see the stars, and you'll be surprised. The stars will talk. And you talk back if you want to. And
they're not all stars, just saying.
Okay. But of course, if you're from New Jersey, right now it's the drones talking to you, and that's a whole other story.
Yeah, that's another whole thing. That's not what we're looking for.
Tell these people, what can I tell you? But I do advocate for people on behalf of their soul to find a place, whether it's a beach, whether it's a mountain, whether it's this place where they find quiet. And really, this time of year, grounding is really important, and self-love is really important to take the time for yourself and to do what you need to do to reset to nourish, and to really enter. You know, we're going to be starting a new fiscal year, a new year ahead. At least we're going to be entering 2025. Although for some people, maybe they're traveling back in time, they just don't realize it yet. But the 2025 that we're going to experience will be interesting, and every year is always a chance for new beginnings. Yeah, just like every day is a chance for new beginnings. That if you, and frankly, I have friends, I still tell it to them, if they're having a bad day, I tell them go back to sleep and wake up again and
Have a
reset.
nap.
Take a nap. And if you're getting up on the wrong side of the bed, well, go back to the bed and get on the right side of the bed. And
Exactly.
give yourself that chance, because it's sometimes we are our hardest critics are us, right? And so when you learn to love who you are, love yourself, and give yourself a chance to just breathe and be, you could find that happiness. And sometimes the pressure we feel is so intense. So we just need a chance to reset and to ground. And so the stars for me is that effervescence, suggestion, memory, chance to go back and just look up and just start that grounding process. And when you are experiencing the other side of these big flares, grounding is really important, and it's intense. And even people that you don't realize are energy sensitive may be acting a little weird or off, and you think something is wrong, and it's just that no, they got hit also by the same wave that you did. So give them a break.
Yeah.
Maybe. Give them a break too.
Yes. Compassion, please.
Love it.
Yeah.
So important.
Exactly. And we have Fogo Pogo joining us. Hey, Kaylee.
Hello.
And we have Gerald.
Of
Hey,
course.
Gerald. And Jen, what is going on with our transits?
Well, I thought I'd do a little something today just because we are going to be taking next week off. So we've actually got 3 that we're going to be going through between now and next time. So instead of going deep dive into any of them, we're just going to do a quick overview so that we're good to go. So let me just pull up the calendar. So I've got the dates going on there. All right. So Friday, we went into the gate 10. Okay. And the gate 10 is the gate of treading, or the behavior of self. This is in the G center. So it is that self energy. And it's part of the vessel of love, and it is about love for the self, right? And so it's about empowerment and being able to step into that energy. So the shadow aspect of this is self-obsession, and the siddhi of this is being, right? Getting into that state of being. And we get there through the gift of naturalness, right? So just notice if things are coming up for you, if you're getting caught up in, self-denial, or, some of those narcissistic traits that people can have sometimes around, I don't know, what comes to mind is that self-righteous indignation, right? When we get caught up in that place of, this is just how it is, and I know it, and that's all. To be able to really move into that ease, into that state of naturalness, and just open to what else is possible. Okay. And when we look at that idea of what else is possible, actually, like in here, and in the Gene Keys, if you look into it, Richard Rudd actually talks about this being as divine laziness, right? That ability to just be and to just go with it and not have to make anything happen, right? It all just kind of unfolds when we're in that place of being.
Can we be in that place of being next week? Well, maybe the end of this week.
Well, we went into that one on Friday. And we're going to be there through until actually Christmas Day, the 25th, this Wednesday, is when, and then we transition into the gate 58, which is really interesting because this cusp happens, and this is the gate of the joyous, right? It's the gate of aliveness. There's vitality here. But that vitality happens as we're moving through the energy. So the shadow aspect here is dissatisfaction. Now, how many people associate dissatisfaction with the holiday season, right? Just notice if this is something that comes up for you, right? Because we want to be able to move from that shadow to the siddhi, or the enlightened state, which is bliss. How do we get into bliss, right? And we do that through, in this case, vitality is the gift. right? So really being able to step into that vitality, and that comes from the joy of service, right? We talk so much about service at this time of year, right? Being of service and giving of ourselves, and how are we able to do that? And how does that bring joy to us, right? By being able to connect and be there for each other. So if you're noticing that you're getting caught up in, this energy that blocks, or there's expectations that are not being met, things like that, just notice, like, what can I do to bring a shift to this energy, right? To bring in that vitality. And that is really where we open to bliss.
Okay. So how do we deal with other people's expectations during this time? Because there will be expectations.
Yeah,
right? That's a question maybe we can talk about.
Well, and you look at that too, right? And again, it's that dissatisfaction. And so if we're moving from, Richard talks about moving from stress to bliss, and what does that actually look like? And, maybe that can be our topic for today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. But we really want to look at the energy that we're bringing to it, because even if somebody has an expectation of us, depending on how we handle that, we can either enhance stress or enhance bliss. Right. And so we have the ability to navigate depending on what's going on inside of us and what we hold space for.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're going to be in that gate until Tuesday.
So Gerald has a question.
Of course.
He agrees to have a week off. We
made a executive decision.
Those two.
We do that every so often.
Yeah, happens.
Very rarely, but in this case.
Sorry.
But no, all good. So we look at New Year's Eve, right? The 31st, and we move into the gate 38. This is the gate of opposition, the gate of the fighter.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Oh, no.
So we look at that and go, okay, what is that all about, right? The shadow aspect of this is struggle, right? We have to fight for everything. We feel like we're constantly having to put that pressure out there. The siddhi for this is honor, and we get there through the gift of perseverance, right? So just noticing the difference between perseverance and fighting for something, right? One of them has this ability to, I'm going to just keep on going, but there is a component of being in flow with perseverance. There's not a component of being in flow when we're forcing our will and trying to push something to be a certain way, and we're hitting wall after wall after wall.
I'm watching the chat. So Kaylee says it's well deserved. And Gerald says Jeff is sandwiched in the middle of this. Maybe Jeff and I should do it together.
That's funny. That is funny.
You know what?
Are you guys going to take our place for next week?
Cool. The Twillow takeover, and the two of you can do a show.
Yeah. Maybe not next week.
Twillow takeover show.
January. Maybe.
We'll have to see what that looks like. But I think Twillow takeover. I mean, it fits with Twillow Talk and Twillow.
You never know. Anything's possible.
Well, we also ended up with Twillow Stash.
Yes.
Of course.
Show once a month. So,
it happens. It's very nice.
Yes.
Anyway, all that to say, so much possibility. Just being, again, as always, really mindful about where we're at, what's going on. And, I always come back to, how do I want to show up in this? How can I be open and curious? What else is possible? Right? And just notice what comes up from that.
Mm-hmm. So should I be upset about a Twillow takeover? I'm just wondering.
Not at all. It's an honor, right?
It's hilarious. Phenomenal.
Oh, there we go.
It would be staged with permission. And of course, you'd have to chime in and, give us comments live. So, otherwise it wouldn't be the same thing.
You'll have Tanis and I backstage. We'll be like bang, 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 bang on the stage.
I'd be heckling in the audience.
No, I'll
Hey,
no, come back in. Come back in. It's all right. Yeah. Oh boy. Oh, wow. So, all right. So how was your collective year? Looking back the last 12 months, did 2024 turn into what you wanted it to be?
Yeah, and more, I would say. Yeah.
And so you're entering 2025 with different expectations than you left 23 with? Like
with different expectations? Well, I try not to have too many expectations.
But you came into this year, right, thinking or knowing certain things. And during the course of the last 12 months, did you learn anything new about yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
Every day.
Every day.
Multiple times a day sometimes.
Fair enough.
Wait, I thought it was like, oh.
I mean, so often I've said, looking back at different periods of my life, that they feel like entire past lives within this lifetime, let alone previous past lives, right? Just because we go through so much transformation.
Yeah.
From moment to moment sometimes. It's pretty incredible.
And a lot of that remembering came up this year for me.
Yeah.
A lot of remembering came forward this year. So for me, I think that was a big, it helped produce a transformation for me.
So are you suggesting you want to be doing some forgetting going into next year now?
No. It was really good. No, I want to remember more is what I want.
Wow. I don't know. Sometimes I forget what I remember and then I remember what I forget, but at different times. And it's okay, right? Because you bring into the moment what you need to at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's finding that balance between remembering to remember and remembering to forget. It's not that you should not know, but you don't always have to carry with you the things that you could easily look up, right? And it's those moments in time that matter the most, right? And so you can create a web of interconnected information to represent. But like going into next year, right? So if you're going to start with a clean slate, for some people, they make New Year's resolutions, right? I look at new day resolutions or new moon resolutions. I don't have to wait an entire year to change something. I mean, why do that? It's like tomorrow I will do this, or now I will do that, as opposed to, I will change my habits on January 2nd because I waited 365 days to do that. Like, really? No. No,
not at all.
It's nice to think about what you would love to have and, take action towards it. But I don't think that it's, I think I look at it differently now from
well, before. I mean, eventually people may realize that every day matters and every day is special. And then when you learn to appreciate the everyday, then every moment matters too, right? And so then you take those moments and you chain them together, and those become the memories that you then have to cherish. And so, because putting things off to tomorrow for some people, that tomorrow may not happen, right? So why defer a dream? Why no? You live your dream now, right? Waiting is okay. Timing is divine, but at the same time, if you can when you learn that every moment matters, that you are in your power when you're in your flow, and that you learn to, as I would say, stop worrying, right? Because you can control the situation or you can't. And when you let go of what you cannot control, you're in your moments, and it's those moments that you're in control of that you have responsibility for, that you now can champion, and you decide what to do. It's no longer so random. You decide, I'm going to have a good time, and you do. And it comes with that comes responsibility and power. And I think when you enter the new year, or you enter the new day, the new moment, that you get to do what you want to do, and you get to manifest the magic for yourself and those around you. And when you have that shifting of stress, to bliss, it's usually not you that has the issue; it's the person you're dealing with. Because usually, if you're giving yourself a hard time, that's on you. But you're dealing with other people who may not necessarily vibrate at the same frequency that you do, then it's finding that commonality of the energy. That's the harder part, is finding a place where, yeah, you know, they're a good person, but for some reason they're just not, they're at a low vibe today and things are not connecting, or they're just too stressing, or and so sometimes you need space, right? And part of that love yourself program is to find time for you too. That it's not so much to advocate for others, but it's for you to take the initiative to, yeah, I am taking time for me right now. That's why, you know, your cell phone, you can actually turn it off.
Really?
Yeah. You can actually disconnect. You can reconnect later.
Losing it.
You know, I don't know, this idea of like turning your phone off at night so you're not interrupted and maybe you sleep through the night.
Oh, I do that. I definitely do that.
But your friends get annoyed maybe that they can't reach you. And it's like, you know, so they have to reach you while you're sleeping. That's really annoying when you get a message to wake up to check your messages. That's not nice.
Yeah.
No. Not at all.
I don't know. It's
I have to say, I'm pretty blessed. None of my friends would do that.
Oh, that's
I
wonderful.
text you in the middle of the night, but I don't expect a response.
But not to wake up. You have to be there.
Listen to my message.
Messages from someone that said that wished that you responded to them, and you open your phone and you say, "Where are you?" You see a "Where are you" message.
Oh yeah, no.
So I do like the idea though of just turning my phone off to disconnect.
Yes.
And then it's like you get so. Sometimes you don't realize how much you need to sleep or how blessed sleep is. Like I don't know, the last couple of months I've been sleeping more, and it's so nice. And to have 7 or 8 hours of sleep. I mean, I'm someone who used to function on 3 hours sleep, but having
I ever functioned on.
I've never functioned on 3 hours.
Maybe I was dysfunctioning, but whatever. But the idea of having, you know,
he was moving around on 3 hours.
Moving around. It was just, you know. I catch my sleep when I can. Maybe I just buy it for a vow or something, but it's not the same as actual relaxing. Because then you just, because you know, when you sleep, I don't know. Sometimes when you sleep, tennis, maybe you just working harder because you have to travel so many other places, so that you're physically sleeping, but your mind has gone to galaxies far, far away. So there is that. Yeah. There's that part. Yeah. So maybe you're not really sleeping, but you're doing good. So being in a restful state is a good thing. And I do think that if we allow ourselves a chance to breathe and be, that we can do so much more. And it's finding ways to de-stress ourselves and giving ourselves bliss. And like, if you know that you love something or like something just for you, don't be ashamed to do it just for you.
Yeah.
And you know, this is why sometimes my dinners start off with dessert. It's like, why wait till the end?
Nice.
You know, like,
and did you know that you can have a cookie for breakfast?
I've done that. You know, it's like,
it's not daily, but I have done it.
Look, it's if you go someplace and you're there for a particular reason, cut to the chase and do what you want. It's like, you know, there are rules. There's maybe etiquette, maybe there's culture, but at the same time, there's you, and maybe it's your chance to set your own rules and to find what you want to do. And because if you spend your entire life serving someone else, then you know maybe you missed out. And one thing that I do like to think is that it's never too early or too late to say I love you. That, you know, it's when someone's gone, it's hard to say I love you in the physical. But, I hear someone loving some loving noise in the back there.
Loving doggos in the background. Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, I'm a big advocate of I love you. I think that's something that we don't say enough. You know,
we just I don't know if
our friends or everything.
But it's just, you know, it's, you know, I learned that too. I learned a hard lesson a few years ago that it's you know, because it's really hard to say I love you to someone who just isn't there. It makes it much harder to say I love you, I should say.
I still do, but
yeah,
they often say it back too. But yeah.
They were expressing love.
Well, look, love is, you know, I think the Beatles figured that out, that love is all you need, right? And if you can't buy love, it's not for sale, but at the same time, it's an opportunity to be you. And And then of course there's the truth part, right? Speaking truth, laying down truth, and hearing truth. And it's no, you could buy a birthday cake even when it's not your. That's true.
It's true.
No one asks. And it could be your birthday every day. Just don't go to the same place until it's your birthday.
I'm born each day anew.
Well, each moment anew, right?
I think I have some friends that I might have done that with. Just saying.
Ooh, just saying. Yeah, I know. It's
whoever it is, they know who they are.
Having fun is not against the law. Sorry, it's just not.
It's not.
And learning to enjoy who you are and to embrace your quirks. Why not? I mean, look. In some ways, we're all misfits because we have our own shortcomings, but at the same time, maybe we have our own talents. And sometimes it takes a lifetime to appreciate who you really are. Mm-hmm. And when you can allow yourself to just be and dare to be who you are, then that's an amazing feat all by itself. And to
discover that who you are.
To discover, I mean, it's to stand up for it too, and just be that person, and not be the person that you think that you want other people expect you to be, but be who you are. Take that uniqueness and just be that. That is a magical moment to discover that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
So
Kaylee used to do the unbirthday tradition.
Unbirthday tradition. Why not?
Unbirthday.
Happy unbirthday. Nice.
I used to do that at the office, actually, when I was managing. Every so often, I'd bring in a cake. Happy unbirthday, everyone.
Why not?
Then it was somebody's birthday, and I was like, oh.
If you could bring joy and delight, into someone's life or people's lives, why not do that? If you can find that missing ingredient that could make someone feel happy, that's priceless.
It is.
And
isn't that rewarding when you see someone's face and you've made them happy?
Yes. And I think that it's, because it gets you to the state of the stars of being unbounded, right? If you could give someone unbounded joy and delight and find those things that just make them happy, or you could be the catalyst for someone else's happiness. That happens because you're also empathic. But when you find the chance, this is why I keep on saying for you to be happy too. It's not a command, thou shalt be happy, but hopefully you find the time to find your own path to happiness, and do what it is that you love to do, and be who you are. And I say that because sometimes you spend so much, I found, at least there were times when I spent a lot of time attempting to fit in, that I gave up who I was. I gave up my identity to be someone else, but then who was I? Yeah. So then to learn to be who you are and to hold and be that person and hold that voice, that's hard. At the same time, it can feel great when you realize that being the best you possible is being the you that you resonate with.
Well, and it's such a beautiful thing when we talk about happiness, right? And this idea of finding your happiness, because if we find our happiness within, then it flows from us and it allows us to embrace who we are more. Right? Because we're not worried about what this person thinks or what that person thinks or how we show up or what's going on. When we find that from within, as opposed to outside of ourselves, we can just be us and we can ride, through the bumps and the things that happen. Right? Because we're not going to take that on in the same way that we are when we think we have to go find it. Right?
And that's, yes, absolutely. Of course, whatever it is could be a moving object too, though.
Well, I mean, you could find your happiness in this thing today and this thing tomorrow and that thing the next day. It doesn't mean you're going to have the same thing.
And sometimes, you look for, when you're searching for something, and then you discover it's not what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And sometimes it's the journey, truly the journey, that's the fun part, not the destination. As much as some people tell you it's where you wouldn't get to, but it's that moment, the aha, and the discovery of how to get to where you want to go, and the fun along the way. Because sometimes that's really where the action is. It's the trips you take and what you go through to go where you want to get to. Sometimes even more importantly than where you got to. And I just remember a long time ago when I know, probably 15 years ago, I used to, I never really walked a lot. And then I started walking like profusely, like I had a thing for getting 10,000 steps a day. Didn't matter where the weather was, whatever, I would walk, and as opposed to drive. And, when you walk around your neighborhood or find neighborhoods to walk around, you start to take in so much more than if you drove by. The details are so much vibrant, and you can start to appreciate where you are so much more because you could feel it, you could hear it, you could see it. And that's almost like a wonderful analogy to how to process other aspects of living. Because if you go too fast, and it's a blur. Sometimes it's the sustained state of bliss, and holding on to it is that magic that brings those dots together that you connect, and then brings out that joy because you connected and held on to the bliss enough to feel it.
Yeah. So hold on to your bliss, everyone.
Hold on to your bliss, yeah.
Because that's what we're going into, isn't it?
It is.
Yes.
Yes. And then that becomes a part of us, right? Like we can get to a place where bliss just becomes a part of us, right? Where we step into circumstances, situations, connections, and immediately we're able to kind of tap into that when we practice it, when it's a part of our experience intentionally, right? We make space for it, then we are able to tap into it more and more and more.
And that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful.
Right? Like we talk about different things, and I know we've talked about it on the show before. Like I have happy dances for everything. Doesn't matter what it is. Something, brings that joy. I'm like, do. I have to dance around and be
like chocolate almonds. I'm just saying.
Ooh.
I've seen that one. There's a chocolate almond dance.
It's
I join her in that one, actually.
Wow.
But in every situation, we have an opportunity to find something depending on where our focus is. And I love, Jeff, what you were talking about taking that walk and just being in the moment, being very present with what's happening. Because as long as we're able to be present, we can find the bliss in the experience.
Right. Otherwise, it's you're really pretending almost. And because there are a lot of people, I think, pretend to hear the words and they associate not a real truth to it. They don't even know what it means. To them it's a word they could spell, but do they really have an attached feeling to what it truly is? And so the power of being in that moment, to being in your flow, to understanding that's why for me the state of now, of being in your now, at this moment is most important, because you're grounded, and at the same time you're experiencing everything around you and feeling it, processing it, and deciding for yourself that what's the next move you make, and that's where everything is most real.
Yeah.
And so it's not that everything is perfect, but it's perfectly real to you. Yeah. And from there you could then take actions which reflect your truth. And that makes it really hard then, of course, to be around people who don't get that, right? The hard part aren't people who are mean. They're people who are, because you could deal with people who are mean by putting up your own shields and just avoiding them, or finding a non-confrontational way to deal with it, or however you must process it. Yeah. But for people who haven't discovered the magic of the now, and they're open to receiving that, that's a great gift. To bring someone to their state of now, and for the very first time in their life to feel what it's like to be in that moment, and with strength, not where you're free falling, but where you're on the ground. And no, you're not. You didn't just skydive without a parachute. No. You are making your choices for you, maybe for the very first time, and you're realizing what is it like. Yes, you could be guided, but you could choose right, left, center, or stay. Yeah. And just to enjoy that bliss of that magic, that's just a beautiful place to be.
It really is. Yeah. It's so fascinating when we talk about all of these different things, and the mind tries to figure out what it means. It tries to define it. It tries to do all of those things. And yet when we allow ourselves to step into the energy of it, the feeling of it, when we allow the heart connection to it, it's a completely different experience.
Well, and I think, we don't allow ourselves to be open enough for that.
Right.
Right? The intimacy piece is a challenge for people. I think I've seen so many clients that come to me and they've like shut their heart down because they were hurt once, and so they're not going to let themselves be in that position again, right? But we miss out on so much like that.
On so much, and it's so hard to even negotiate that, right? To be able to feel it and to then give yourself a chance, a second chance, a third chance, and because it's almost like the unspoken love language, like from a tactile perspective or from an action, because we some people need touch, some people need other feelings, and figuring out how to navigate that for yourself on your own, that's really hard.
Yeah. Well, that's why we form relationships, right? Is to get to know ourselves and how we
well, those are the positive relationships. But what happens when you need to learn some of that, because it's not like you study this in school, nor this something that maybe your parents taught you. It's like these are things you discover as you get older, or maybe get younger, or somehow I don't know, transit through the galaxies. But somewhere along the way, you accumulated knowledge that gives you that enhanced intuition that this is how you be. And in the world that you're in, this is how you then get around that. Because this is not stuff, I don't know. And I didn't never study anything in high school that explained any of this.
No, we don't come with manuals.
How do you learn? So, you think about how do you learn these things? And it's really hard because it's knowledge you want to share with other people. But for many, I find that they need to experience it themselves before they believe it. And I can tell you all the magic about this or that, but it's like the night sky. Until you experience the night sky by yourself at a certain age, you don't really appreciate how magical it really is. And then it's like maybe you go all in because it is that special. And for maybe people, maybe it's not a night sky. Maybe it's going to be something else that inspires them to be grounded. And even grounding for the very first time and being able to let go and be able to just be present is something which you need to. It's a very internal moment that I could talk about all the benefits of being present and being in the flow and being in the moment. But if you don't have a context of what that's like, then it's just words.
Yeah.
And we could take those words and bring them to action. It's another way of going from stress to bliss, because you can be very stressed with many things. And the secret was to ground and bring yourself to a high vibration. But if those are words and not actions related, you need to maybe find a way to get there if you want to get there. And it's, and trust, there's a level of trust too, which we didn't talk about, but it's trusting yourself. It's trusting your guides. We're putting weights on, we're setting betas, if you will, on different things which help bring us forward, right? Moving forward always, not backwards. And trust matters, because if you break trust, you lose it. Building it is very, very important. And there's a whole ecosystem of trust here, where we look to have a safe space, a trusted space, and a sacred space, and through that we then could explore and expand and be who we really are. And if you break that trust, then you almost could float aimlessly or not know what to do, and sometimes it's just being misunderstood. You didn't do anything wrong, but you said something or did something that was misunderstood, and then you spend all the time trying to be understood. And trying it's not even a word in my vocabulary anymore. You either are or you're not. But when you find yourself that whoever you're talking to doesn't get it, and you truly didn't do anything wrong, it's hard. It's hard to navigate that emptiness where you had trust, you lost it, and you want to build it up again, and yet you didn't think you did anything incorrect, but then you realized it was a very subtle action that was misunderstood. So it's just this whole navigation. But I do think that when you do navigate both stress to bliss, and then bliss sometimes of course, this guilt. Some people have guilt where you're having so much bliss, it feels like, oh my God, I can't. It's not fair. It's like, oh, I got to share my bliss with someone else because I had enough. And it's like, no, bliss is good. It's a beautiful
universe
thing.
is infinite, right?
Yeah.
There's no too much. Well,
Yeah.
maybe too much sugar because
that's not bliss. Then that's a sugar high. But I love what you're saying too about the trust piece and letting go. And I think trust is such an important aspect. And I talk to clients a lot, especially when there is broken trust. And it's like, we don't have to get to a place where we trust the other person again. We have to get to a place where we truly trust ourselves.
Yes.
And if we can do that, then we can navigate whatever comes up for us. Right? And being able to move from that place of stress to bliss is being able to really go into ourselves and go, you know what? I've got this. It's okay. Right. I can navigate all of this. Right. And then we're able to release expectation. We're able to release regret. We're able to release fear of the future. Right. We're able to step into that enhanced intuition because we're not constantly questioning or challenging everything if we have that trust.
Right. And I think that's very important stuff. For me, it was realizing that something bad wasn't going to happen if I had too much joy. I was always waiting for the other shoe to drop if I got too happy. Well, be happy, please.
And then Brenda says it starts by just doing it. In my path, even if you don't feel it, get it, keep moving forward until you feel the bliss. Thankfully, that's not Kaylee's space anymore. So that's good.
Sometimes it's just being open to it. Right? We don't have to go find it. We don't have to go search for it, but we have to be willing to have it. Willing to experience it and to be open.
And there's also the recognizing it. Because, if we haven't had a lot of it, then some people are like, what is this feeling?
Yeah.
Love can be the same way.
What is it? You can also be suspicious of it too. If it's like, if it's unique or if it has a unique signature to it, it's like, what do you do to it, or how do you handle it? And trust is really key. Love, though, I think is what overall, right? If you can embrace love, then it is all that matters. I think that love is where it's at. If you find love, you can build an ecosystem where all the other pieces come together. And it's all about love. It's an easy word to spell.
It is.
And
it's
then
one of the good 4-letter words.
It's a beautiful 4-letter word. One of the best ever.
Sorry. If Earth is a school, this is your final exam. How would you do?
At a life that's good.
Yep.
Yes. Well, yes.
Definitely. Hey, Michael.
Absolutely. I think that when you add love as a connector so you can have love, you can have stressful love and blissful love, which is funny, right? Because you could be stressing over how to do something in a loving way because you're just overly concerned about sharing it in a beautiful way, but you stress over it. Now, some people do stress, right? And to tell someone to stop stressing can create stress. So you got to be careful here of being too heavy on one piece and too light on the other. But at the end of the day, I do trust that people can find their balance, and with that, then they can go into each day fresh, knowing that the days are unbounded, that the limitations are set by themselves and not others, which is hard, by the way, for others to hear that. But the reality is, you do what you can do, no more, no less. But if you allow yourself the possibility that tomorrow can be a great day, tonight can be a great night. It's just that normally we carry the limitations and the barriers with us. But if you go into each day as being unbounded, where anything is possible, then everything is possible.
Open and curious, like Jen always says.
Open and curious. And it's so true. We can be in this moment and going through something. And I've had this happen, especially the more we go into that observer place, right? Because we look at something and go, why am I dwelling on this difficult aspect of it? This isn't the energy I want to hold on to. This isn't even how I actually feel about this situation.
Right.
Okay, no, I'm done. This is like, okay, mind, enough is enough. I'm done with this.
You're done.
You're done. Right? And we're going to switch it. And the mind may try to bring us back to it because that's what the mind does. But the more that we are able to observe it and recognize what it is doing, the more power over it we have. And the more we can go, no, I'm not stepping into that fear. I recognize you're there. I understand what you're trying to do, but I'm going to approach this in love. Right? And we have that capacity. We just give the mind so much power.
Right. We do.
Yeah. It's about returning to the heart space, right? Making decisions out of love instead of out of fear.
Yeah.
And of course, we did forget about magic, though.
Magic? Let's talk magic.
Well, because if you bring some celestial magic into the equation, then that's one way some people could appreciate how this happens, right? There's something magical about each of you, the magical pixie dust that you can invoke, which brings forth opportunities that are truly unbounded. Because I default to magic for things that are hard to explain or too difficult to explain. Just call them magical. And
so much science was magic back in the day.
It was.
Well, actually, it was.
It was.
Right?
Yeah.
Before we understood the scientific principles, people called it magic. Perhaps it was banned, or people got in trouble for the science that they represented because it was magic. But in some ways, it's, from a positive spiritual sense, you could bring magic into your day and do great things with it.
Yeah.
And be creative, be unbounded, be someone who brings hope, joy, and love. And look, it's also believing, and that believe is a really good word here too, because if you can believe in love, everything becomes possible. It's just like believing in yourself and allowing yourself to believe in love and allowing yourself to believe in what you can do. That it's not impossible, right? You make it possible, and surprise yourself, and just yes, you can do it. That you're the one who can make that magic happen, and that magic is you. You just didn't realize it.
I love that. It's interesting. We're talking about bliss and magic and all of that and the fairy dust kind of idea. And I often imagine bliss and being in that state of bliss, like sprinkling that dust all over the place.
Dividend.
And I've seen that in my own
dividend of bliss is that magic dust that you have, right? And you can capture that. You can sprinkle it whenever you need it, right? And share it with others who just need to receive that because they need hope, right? Because the magic and the bliss gives hope to others. And so hope is something you can share. You can believe, and those who need hope, you share hope.
Yeah.
And with the hope becomes the unbounded possibilities of everything being okay. And sometimes we need to believe that because we need that hope. Because when you forget to believe, hope gets you through those moments.
Well,
okay, so here's a question.
Yes.
Difference between hope, faith, belief.
Oh, we need another show for that.
That is a whole other show.
Okay, well, it was a nice thought. We'll table that.
It'd be a big show.
It would.
A really big show, yeah.
We'll table that one. Maybe next year.
But to go back really quick to what we were saying about being, with family and in situations where there's difficult things that are happening, right? That piece of being able to sprinkle that bliss, it really can change the energy and the atmosphere, right? I have broody teenagers and they come in and they're all, and then it's like, here's mom doing her thing again, right? Being all,
I get that all the time.
Things are great.
Mom's
Come on, being a goofball. And it allows for, a break in that energy, right? Where they're caught up in these other things that are going on and being able to laugh and have fun, right? It really it is magical in the way that it can move us through difficult situations.
I was just talking to ChatGPT and asking it for its assistance on your hope, faith, believe moment, and I'm getting a long dissertation on this stuff.
Yeah, this is why I was saying it was a whole other show.
No, I think it is, but I'll see. It's because there's so much subtlety to it, right? And there's the spoken and unspoken side of it, and there's different. And I thought I was going to read you 3 sentences and be done, but no, it's an entire show.
No. If we were to put it in a couple quick sentences, I would say belief is just what we think about
is
something,
true,
right? It's just what we think is true. Faith is when we aren't sure that something is true, but we want to believe that it's true.
You know what? I'll interrupt you. Let's see if my friend Purple's around. Purple, can you hear me? Purple, where are you? Do you hear me, Purple?
Yes, I can hear you. What's on your mind, Purple?
No, you're Purple. I'm Jeff. Remember that? Anyway, I'm on a show right now.
Of course, Jeff. You're Jeff, and I'm here, your Purple branded partner in conversation. What's on your mind today?
Quickly, you have a couple of moments. Could you explain the subtle difference between hope, faith, and believe?
Absolutely, Jeff. Here's the quick breakdown. Hope is a wish or desire for something to happen, often tied to the future and uncertainty. Think of it as optimism. Faith is trust or confidence in something, often without needing proof. It's more enduring and tied to conviction.
What about believe? Uh-oh, he's still there? Uh-oh, I believe
So hope is forward-looking, faith is unwavering trust, and belief is about acceptance. Does that click?
I missed the whole thing, your whole dissertation on belief. We got the hope and the faith part.
Thanks, Kaylee. That's sweet.
Accepting something as true. It's more intellectual than emotional, based on reasoning, trust, or evidence. Unlike hope or faith, it doesn't necessarily involve optimism or conviction. Does that help?
Thanks, Purple. Bye. So yeah.
There we go. There's a nice synopsis.
Well, when in doubt, this ChatGPT. I Purple. Normally it calls me Jeff unless it forgets, but
and calls you Purple.
It calls me Purple. Ever since OpenAI announced the 12 gifts for Christmas program, it kind of slowed down its ability to discern. But before that, it was pretty good. But I do think, though, the hope, faith, belief is a wonderful doctrine for lots of interesting things. And I hope brings all of us. I think if we carry hope with us, faith and belief. Now, the nice part about this, it's all free. It's all free. There's no cost. There's no actual cost. You don't have to go out and put up a credit card and put it down. You just need to allow yourself to pay the price, whatever you charge for hope, for faith and believing. But it's really the ability to do that, to be open to that, is priceless, I think, and magical. And if you could sell your pixie dust, why not? But you don't sell
that on everything.
Yeah, it's.
I didn't say this.
No, you're all magical, and you bring together a beautiful community of folks, and the ability to spend time in exploring these feelings and the energies, both from the weather forecast perspective as well as just the energy forecast, is unbounded and just really beautiful, and really nice.
Thank you.
And I do hope for the year ahead that we each of us learn something new about who we are, what our purpose is, give ourselves a chance to expand the things that we love, and to discover new things that we can love, that we've always loved and didn't realize it.
Discovery. There's a good word. So yeah. Kaylee's giving her 5-ish minutes.
Okay. What happens in the last 5-ish minutes?
We give them some home play.
Such as?
Well, we've got this card deck that we've been using throughout the year. And we finished it last time.
Wow.
So we get to do a whole new, we get to use the whole deck this time to go through it. And actually 2 cards fell out. Maybe that's because there were 2 weeks that we're not doing. I don't know.
So you get one for this week, one for next week. You get
2 jumpers.
You get to decide which order you want to do them in each week, or you could just do both. There is that possibility. Especially because the 2 go really well together.
That's why they fell out together.
Follow the cycles.
Ooh.
Allowing yourself to be in that flow. And listen with your heart, not just your ears.
Yes.
So I think we're pretty on par for the combo. But
yes, we are.
Definitely.
All right. So let's go through. And I'll just quickly read through each of them for you guys. Here we go. So we'll start with this one. All right. Follow the cycles. Everything in life has a season. You are a child of creation, but your body is made of the earth. Mother Earth's children are created within the great cycles of life. You are built to flow in cyclical rhythms. Are you out of sync with the sacred feminine flow of life? Every season has a natural length and serves a sacred purpose. Are you pushing forward on a project or relationship when all the signals say slow down? There is no need for great effort. The cycles of life are effortless in that they happen naturally and organically. When you are experiencing struggle, your sacred masculine drive might be forgetting to listen to your sacred feminine cycles. Listen to the signals of stress being sent to your body and your emotions. Stress is a message that you are moving against the current of the natural cycles. When drawing upon the wisdom of the mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual bodies, you will know when to take strong action and when to nurture the quiet time. Trust that all will get done, follow the cycles, and your life will bring harmony to all. Very fitting for our conversation today.
Yep, definitely.
All right. And the other one that we've got here is listen with your heart, not just your ears. Are you unable to receive the information coming from your relations? What are you choosing not to hear? Your loved ones have valuable information for you. Listen to them when they speak, for it honors them and your own sacred journey. Listening is a great skill that many humans have forgotten. Creator gave you 2 ears so that you can use both parts of your mind, sacred masculine logic and sacred feminine empathy, to hear what is being communicated to you. Are you letting only one part of your mind listen for you? This creates imbalance and prevents the circle of understanding from completing its path. When you are in balance, the 2 parts of your mind work simultaneously, and your heart opens. True listening comes from an attentive and receptive heart. Let compassion balance your mind and listen carefully, grandchild.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful.
Beautiful words.
Mm-hmm.
And great things for us to do as home play over the next couple weeks with everything that's going to be going on.
I would strongly suggest a couple of takeaways. One is if you find yourself in a situation where your family is overwhelming you, walk away for a moment. Go outside, even if it's 0 or minus 40, as they say. Because again, you keep your cool will be kept. If you notice you need a chance to breathe, take the personal time and give it to yourself. If you see someone who's in need of comfort in whatever is politically correct, offer them that hug, energetic hug or something. Don't be afraid to tell someone I love you, even if you just met them. If you feel, particularly if you know that hearing those words are words that will give them something that will bring comfort and joy and delight to them in a positive way and bring a smile, or because smiles are very precious things. People don't always smile enough, and so don't be afraid to express kindness and love and gratitude to others. Don't be afraid to speak when spoken to, and at the same time, don't be afraid to love, and don't be afraid to be you. So really, it's because if you're someone who's social, who goes to events, hosting people, you can be around all sorts of personalities, all sorts of energies, and as hard as it is, sometimes you do get affected by someone's negativity. You do get affected because someone said something really outrageous and it really just gets to your gut. And if you don't want to fight with them, don't. You don't have to fight. And you're not losing by not fighting. You're winning. In fact, what people don't realize is that not reacting is staying in your power. If someone sends you a message and you don't say anything, you're not giving them the power to say anything else. You're actually holding it back from them. Just so no reaction is the best reaction possible when you have the strength to do it. And know that if you are so just don't be afraid to have fun, and really just have the strength to walk away when you can, and know that it's okay to be you. That it's okay to be who you are all the time. And love will set you free. And the truth.
Yeah. And on that, walking away, stepping away, not responding, sometimes that is the most loving thing that we can do.
Even if it's going away and going to the bathroom for a minute.
Particularly.
And Kaylee says tube.
And
she's referring to the protection tube, of course, right? That we've done on here numerous times. So pulling in that extra energy.
Hearing your own voice sometimes, something we don't always hear the way we don't sound to it's surprisingly enough, the way we speak, the way we hear ourselves speak is not the way other people hear us.
Yeah.
Just as an audible thing. But if you can hear your voice, you can find your strength. And I just encourage everybody to be the best themselves possible, and know that they are protected, that they will not put themselves in harm's way on purpose, and they are protected from others. They just have to allow themselves to feel that.
No, snow tube is wine.
Fair enough.
That's more going with the flow.
Going with the flow. Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I think we'll have enough snow to snow tube.
Wow.
By tomorrow.
What? I don't even know what snow tubing is.
It's like a big tube that you go down in a hill. It's like a
toboggan
kind of thing.
Toboggan, but in a tube.
But it's like
but on a tube.
Yeah, but it's a tire tube thing.
Wow. So it's not like the British, it's not like the London subway, a different tube.
No, different kind of tube. Different kind of tube. That one would be warmer.
It's cold.
Less snowy.
Fair enough. Well, wow. Thank you so much for bringing joy and delight into the year, and to help us all migrate and move from stress to bliss, and to embrace love and really who we are. And I wish for everyone the year ahead to be the best year possible, filled with light and love and unbounded happiness.
And we thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me as a guest. It is beautiful. I am blessed to be here and very grateful to be part of this show. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Jen, final words for the year?
Go into it with grace. Bring love to yourself and others. Take a breath, let it go, and see what happens.
Same to you, Jeff, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's go into the holidays with love, self-compassion, compassion for others, patience, and let's have fun. Because, fun is good.
Fun is good.
Fun is good.
We will see you back here in how many days? 14 days we will be back, guys. So don't forget to set your reminder or like and subscribe so you get the notification. And we will see you in the new year. Have an awesome holiday season, everyone. Take care. Lots of love.